Hey folks, I'm Red Monster SC, and in this video, I'm going to be covering my recommendations for mining outfitting in Star Citizen Alpha 4.1.1. Whether you're just starting out with the Drake Golem, running solo with the MISC Prospector, or organizing a group run with the Argo Mole, this guide will walk you through the best mining lasers, modules, and gadgets, then tie it all together with my recommended builds for budget-friendly starters, high-powered brute force combinations, and balanced setups that shine in group play. As you're watching this video, if you learned something new or if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like and subscribe to see more great content like this, as well as leave a comment letting me know if you found a different laser combination that seems to work better for your playstyle. So let's get into it. We'll start with mining lasers, as that's going to set the stage for the rest of your loadout, and each one offers unique trade-offs. First up is the Arbor laser. This is a stock option on both the Prospector and the Mole, and it's actually a solid pick to get started. It gives you a 35% reduction in instability and a 40% increase in optimal charge window, which makes it more forgiving when you're learning the ropes. But the trade-off is a 25% increase in resistance. The size 1 variant has a laser power ranging from 189 to 1890 with one module slot and a 60 meter optimal range. The size 2 ranges from 480 to 2400 laser power with two module slots and a 90 meter optimal range. For a free stock laser, the Arbor is a pretty balanced starting point. Next is the Helix. This is the highest power laser on the market. It delivers a 30% reduction in resistance, but comes with a 40% narrower optimal charge window, making it harder to control, especially on smaller rocks. It's also got the highest price tag, which may be a consideration if you're just getting started. The size 1 variant ranges in power from 630 to 3150 with two module slots and a very close 15 meter optimal range. The size 2 variant ranges in power from 1020 to 4080 with three module slots and a little bit more forgiving 30 meter optimal range. The Helix is great for those higher mass rocks that you'd be passing up with other loadouts, but it does come at the expense of a trickier overall experience. And the next is the Hofstede, which is my go-to for most mining runs. It gives you a substantial 60% wider optimal charge window and a 20% faster optimal charge rate and a 30% resistance reduction. The only real downside is a 10% bump in instability. The size 1 power ranges between 105 to 2100 with one module slot and a 45 meter optimal range, and the size 2 ranges in power from 336 to 3360 power with two module slots and a 60 meter optimal range. The Hofstede's got a good maximum power and a very low minimum power, allowing you to process smaller rocks and secondary fragments with ease. The resistance reduction and optimal charge window bonuses make sure your mining experience is responsive and easy to control, perfect for most situations. And finally, the Pitman laser exclusive to the Drake Golem. If you're flying a Drake Golem, this is what you're locked into using, and it's important to understand its specific trade-offs when deciding which modules to outfit. The Pitman hits just as hard as a size 1 Helix, with 630 to 3150 laser power and a 40 meter optimal range, but it comes with some serious drawbacks in a 25% increased resistance and a 35% increased instability, as well as a 40% slower optimal charge rate. It does widen the optimal charge window by 40%, but you'll want to pair the Pitman with the right modules and gadgets to keep things under control. Once you've locked in your laser, your next choices are your mining modules. These plugins let you fine-tune how your laser behaves, and picking the right ones can make all the difference, especially when you only have one or two slots to work with. Passive modules are more expensive up front, but give you a permanent bonus, and there's two that stand out above the rest from my experience. First is the Focus 3, which widens your charge window by 40% at the cost of 5% laser power. This is an excellent choice for control focus builds and the occasional emotional support laser when working in a group. And the next is the Rieger C3, which boosts the laser power by 25% with a negligible 1% reduction in optimal charge window. The Rieger C3 is perfect for pushing your laser capabilities just a little bit further without having to worry about the numbers of times you can use it. Next are active modules, which are much more affordable to start with a limited number of activations. The benefits are a more substantial boost than the passive modules, but you'll want to use them strategically. There's a few options, but right now, only one of them stands out as a clear choice, and that's the Surge module, which provides a 50% power increase, 15% resistance reduction, all at the cost of a 10% instability increase. The Surge has 7 uses, lasting 15 seconds each, and it's best used on the initial break of a rock that may be just outside your normal capabilities. These benefits stack multiplicatively when you activate 2 or even 3 at a time, boosting your laser power to 150%, 225%, or even 338%. The next active module is the Rhyme, which I'd only consider an honorable mention. The Rhyme gives a 25% resistance reduction at the cost of a 15% laser power decrease, with 10 uses lasting 20 seconds each. The resistance reduction is good for supporting roles, but the laser power reduction directly contradicts its usefulness for solo play. Mining gadgets are the wild card in your outfitting choices. You can haul multiple gadgets in your backpack while mining, and attach whichever one you want directly to the deposit that might require a little extra push. They're also mostly reusable, assuming the gadget doesn't get destroyed when the rock explodes, or you don't hit it directly with a mining laser. There are 3 gadgets that I suggest you have on hand when you're out in the field. The Bore Max, which provides a 70% instability reduction, a 30% better mineral clustering at the cost of a 10% increased resistance. The Bore Max is perfect to use when you're dealing with volatile materials like Quantanium, or when you expect to have multiple vehicles cooperating to fracture a rock. Next is the Sabir, which provides a 50% resistance reduction, a 50% wider optimal charge window, at the cost of a 15% instability increase. The Sabir is best used on high resistance rocks like gold that you'll have a harder time breaking through to start. And last is the Wave Shift, which provides a 100% wider optimal charge window with a 35% reduction to instability at the cost of a 30% slower charge rate. The Wave Shift is ideal for hard to manage deposits that start with a small optimal charge window. So the hardware's been covered. Let's tie it together with the best combinations. For the Drake Golem, you're stuck with the Pitman mining laser, and I'd recommend using the mining gadgets to offset its downsides, using the mining modules to push its capabilities. The first option I'd recommend is a double surge. The laser power bonuses stack multiplicatively when they're active, for a 225% power boost. This is great for powering through the first breaks that the size 1 laser might not normally be able to manage. The second option for the Drake Golem is a more balanced mix using 1 surge and 1 focus 3, combining the flexibility of a tactical raw power boost of 50% with the wider optimal charge window for a better overall control experience. Now, if you're running the Drake Golem, I'd also consider the mining gadgets an essential add-on, using either the Bore Max or the Sabir, depending on whether the rock has a high starting instability or resistance. For the Prospector and Mole, there's 3 options for laser and module combos. First is the budget build using the stock Arbor laser and the single surge module for the Prospector, or a double surge for the Mole to get that sweet 225% bonus power output. This is a low-cost, steady performer that's ideal for starters, and the surge module is pretty widely available. Next is the maximum power build using the Helix mining laser. I'd pair that with a surge and a focus 3 for the Prospector, and use a trio of surge modules if you're running a crude Mole, as long as you have other lasers that can help support the secondary breaks. This is a great combination for high resistance rocks and extremely large deposits where you need to maximize the laser power output as much as possible. And finally, the best all-around build, in my opinion, which is the Hofstede with a surge module for the Prospector and a surge plus the Rieger C3 for the Argo Mole. This provides a responsive, versatile, and excellent laser complement for both solo and group play. And while you may have to deal with higher resistance when working with multiple ships, that 60% charge window bonus from the Hofstede gives you a lot more buffer room to react to spikes in charge level.
But what about the ore pods?
Unfortunately, the ultra capacity exploits from both the Prospector and the Mole seem to have been removed in 4.1.1, and the Drake Golem can't take any larger sized ore pods due to its unique form factor, but you do still have an opportunity with the MISC Prospector. With the ore pods now reliably storing and retrieving from the freight elevators in 4.1.1, you can now easily swap the 8 SCU MISC ore pods for the higher capacity Argo Mole pods, boosting your capacity from 36 SCU to 48 SCU per run. So whether you're outfitting a Prospector, customizing your Mole for maximum yield, or tuning a Drake Golem so that it punches above its weight class, the right gear makes all the difference. If this guide helped you out, hit the like button, subscribe for more Star Citizen content, and drop a comment below with your favorite mining build. I'd love to see what you're running. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you Sunday.